Tyrion Lannister, the Lion of Shadows. The story of Tyrion Lannister is one of the most paradoxical and fascinating tales ever told in the Seven Kingdoms. Born into one of the richest and most influential houses of Westeros, he was cursed with a body that made him an object of ridicule and contempt, but blessed with a mind sharp as Valyrian steel. From his first breath, Tyrion had to fight for survival, not only against the cruel world but also against the disdain of his own blood. Prologue: A lion in chains of flesh. Tyrion was born on a stormy night in Casterly Rock, and his birth was marred by tragedy. His mother, Joanna Lannister, died delivering him. From that moment, the shadow of guilt and hatred fell upon the boy. His father, Lord Tywin Lannister, never forgave him for the loss of his beloved wife, and his sister Cersei saw him as a curse. Only his brother Jaime, the Golden Knight, showed him kindness and brotherly love. But Tyrion learned early that kindness was rare and fleeting, while cruelty was ever present. His wit became his sword, his tongue his shield. If the world despised him for his stature, then he would earn its respect with his cunning. Books, conversations with wise men, and a relentless curiosity turned him into one of the most knowledgeable men of Westeros. He once said, "My mind is my weapon, and a mind needs books as a sword needs a whetstone." The War of the Five Kings. Tyrion's path became entwined with the great conflict that tore the Seven Kingdoms apart, the War of the Five Kings. He played a crucial role in defending King's Landing during Stannis Baratheon's assault. As Hand of the King, Tyrion organized the defense of the city, devised the use of wildfire, and turned the tide of battle with his strategy. While Joffrey cowered, Tyrion stood on the walls, rallying men twice his size, proving that true leadership is measured not in height but in courage. But his victory was stolen. His father Tywin claimed the glory, and Tyrion was left bleeding in the shadows, his face scarred from battle. The cheers of the crowd were not for him. This moment taught Tyrion a painful truth. Even triumph could be twisted into humiliation. Chains of fate. Tyrion's life turned darker with the death of King Joffrey at the infamous Purple Wedding. Wrongfully accused of regicide, he stood trial, abandoned by family, betrayed by his lover Shae, who testified against him. His speech during the trial remains one of the most powerful moments in Westeros history. "I did not kill Joffrey, but I wish that I had. Watching your vicious bastard die gave me more relief than 1,000 lying whores. I will not give my life for your amusement. I demand trial by combat." He lost not only his freedom but also his last illusions of love and family. After Jaime freed him from his cell, Tyrion committed an act that forever changed his destiny. He killed his father Tywin with a crossbow, striking down the lion who never accepted him. Exile and the Dragon Queen. After fleeing Westeros, Tyrion found his place beside Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. For the first time, he discovered a cause greater than survival: justice, freedom, and hope for the broken and forgotten. Daenerys saw beyond his height and scars. She valued his wisdom, his wit, and his loyalty. For her, Tyrion became not only an advisor but also a confidant, a man who believed in her dream of a better world. It was Tyrion who counseled restraint when fire threatened to consume everything. It was Tyrion who plotted alliances, who tried to weave fragile threads of peace in a land soaked with blood. And though he stumbled, and his mistakes cost lives, his devotion to Daenerys never wavered. Time and again, he risked his life to save hers, standing between her fury and the abyss, the weight of betrayal. Yet Tyrion's path was never easy. He watched Daenerys grow more ruthless, and his heart trembled with fear. Not for himself, but for the world she wished to remake. He loved her dream but dreaded her fire. Torn between loyalty and conscience, Tyrion stood in the shadows, wrestling with choices that shattered his soul. When King's Landing burned beneath dragonfire, Tyrion's spirit broke. He wandered among the ashes, seeing charred corpses, children clinging to lifeless mothers. He realized then that he had helped unleash a storm he could not stop. His tears fell not only for the dead but also for the woman he had believed in. The final stand. In this tale, Tyrion's end is not that of a traitor or a coward. but of a man who remained loyal until his last breath. When Daenerys faced betrayal and the blades of her enemies, Tyrion stood by her side. Not as Hand, not as Lannister, but as Tyrion, the man who had loved, suffered, and endured more than most could bear. On the battlefield near the ruins of King's Landing, when assassins struck at the Queen, Tyrion threw himself in the path of the blade. Steel pierced his chest, but he did not fall at once. He fought with a dagger, small in his hand, but driven by a lion's heart. Wounded and bleeding, he bought Daenerys the seconds she needed to call her dragon and survive. His sacrifice was silent, but its echo shook the hearts of all who witnessed it. Epilogue: The Lion's Shadow. Tyrion Lannister died as he had lived. Mocked by some, underestimated by most, but truer than any of them. His last breath was not a curse, but a whisper. "For you, my queen." They buried him not in Casterly Rock, the place that rejected him, but in the gardens of King's Landing, where flowers grew amidst ruins. On his tomb was carved, "Here lies Tyrion of House Lannister, small in stature, great in heart, a lion who walked among shadows, yet shone brighter than the sun." And so the tale of Tyrion ended, with tears, with grief, but also with reverence. For in a world of cruelty, he proved that wit could be sharper than a sword, that love could endure beyond betrayal, and that even the smallest man could cast the longest shadow.